Hey, Tom Trento here with the United West, giving you insight into how we unravel the complexities of the Middle East. What country is fighting whom? Where is oil? What does Iran want to do? How does Greece fit in? What are the cultural factors? What are the demographic factors? What are the geopolitical factors? Best way to understand it is the way we do. That is by looking at our good friend Mark Langfan's phenomenal maps of the Middle East. These show where Israel is the foundation of Western civilization and foundation of national security for the United States right now. So we're going to present a micro series of some of Mark's talented geopolitical, demographic, and cultural map work. Take a look at this amazing series, and you too will be able to understand what's going on in the Middle East. Watch this.
Israel, the cornerstone of the Western world, by Mark Langfan. Is Israel the cause of instability in the Middle East? Not worth the $3 billion the U.S. gives Israel every year? Or is Israel the cause of stability in the Middle East and the West's first and last line of defense against an Iranian Islamic tidal wave which would smash into southern Europe? And hence, Israel would be worth every last red cent. Watch Mark's maps and then decide. This is a simple country population map of the Mideast. In the upper left-hand corner is Mark's personal dividing line between the Western Greek versus the Eastern Islamic, the blue seam line. Greece is just to the left of or west of the blue seam line. Greece has a total of 11 million Christians. 11 million Christians. East of or right of the blue seam line, there are 370 million Muslims. This 370 million Muslim population number excludes the 660 million Muslims in Pakistan, Nigeria, Indonesia, and India. Israel is the only non-Muslim Western bulwark country in between the 11 million Christian Greeks in Greece to the west and 370 million Muslims who control 65% of the world's oil reserves. Except, of course, Cyprus with 1 million Christians. And Cyprus doesn't have an army or navy to speak of. And to boot, Cyprus isn't a NATO country, as if being a NATO country means anything anymore. Now, people who claim Israel is the cause of Mideast instability don't just claim that Israel was the core of instability since 1967. They say Israel has been the cause of instability since 1948, which is just a polite Jew-hating, Israel-hating code for no Israel at all. Now, we're not talking about an Israel with or without Judea and Samaria, more commonly known as the West Bank. No, understand this. They are talking about no Israel at all. So, let's make the Israel haters' dream come true. In theory. Let's, in theory, excise Israel from the Eastern Med strategic balance. That is, if you call 11 million Greeks versus 370 million Muslims balance. For starters, this means the 1 million people of Cyprus don't have the Israeli army and Israeli Air Force to protect it and to share the tens of billions of natural gas in the Levant Basin that lays between Israel and Cyprus. By the way, all these big EU banks have taken these Cyprus natural gas fields as collateral security for the massive loans the EU banks extended to Cyprus when Cyprus had to get a national bank bailout. So, all of these big EU bank Cyprus loans will go up in flames. The second Israel is harmed, God forbid. Now remember, Cyprus is not a NATO-protected country. So Turkey, with 74 million to the north, already occupies Cyprus's north, and Egypt, with its 83 million to the south, needs the gas for itself. Turkey and Egypt together have standing armies larger than the entire population of Cyprus. In short, Turkey and Egypt would crush Cyprus. Next up on the Muslim-Iranian hit parade list, Greece. You see, Iran has got a little score to settle with Greece, dating back to 331 BCE, when Alexander the Great defeated the Persians at the Battle of Gaugamela. But Greece is a NATO country. So, in reality, Israel is really protecting NATO's southern flank. And therefore, without Israel, NATO and the EU are indefensible. Indefensible. And Congress would have to budget an extra $70 to $100 billion each year in years 2 through 10 in the U.S. defense budget to fund a U.S. defense of the core NATO country called Greece against a 370 million strong nuclear-armed Iranian Muslim attack. So, the entire question really boils down to a simple choice. Would you rather have 7 million resourceful Israelis deal with the 1.6 million Palestinians in the West Bank as best as the Israelis reasonably see fit, or would you rather have 370 million Muslims and Iranians deal with 11 million Greeks as the 370 million Muslims and Iranians will see fit? And also, have U.S. troops die trying to defend Greece against a 370 million strong nuclear-armed Iranian Muslim attack? Oh, and how about Russia, with only about 142 million Christians? In a future 2020, with Israel excised from the Middle East, immediately to Russia's south in 2020, Russia would face a 370 million strong Iranian Muslim nuclear superpower with 65% of the world's oil and gas reserves that Russia had first armed with nuclear weapons, because in 2015 Russia had armed Iran with the exact nuclear weapons that Russia now faces from its entire southeast. So, the cold hard reality is that Israel is protecting all of NATO, Western Europe, America, and Russia from an Iranian Muslim nuclear-armed colossus that will overrun them all before the morning's call to prayer. Therefore, Israel is NATO's, the US's, the EU's, and Russia's first and last line of defense against an Iranian Muslim 370 million man strong nuclear armed colossus. In conclusion, a safe and secure Israel is not the cause of world instability and conflict, but the cornerstone of world peace and security. Israel is the very cornerstone of world peace, security, and it is a light of democracy and of freedom unto the nations.